Our next honoree is in the category of county judge, and when Judge John Marcucci was appointed as presiding judge of Denver County Court, it was said he had the right temperament, experience, talent, and administrative skills to serve the citizens of Denver as presiding judge of the county court. We had great expectations of him, and he has lived up to every one of them in every way. So let's watch a short video about Judge Marcucci.
Judge John Marcucci has met the ills of our society with innovative judicial programs that address the underlying issues, ranging from drug addictions to mental health issues that impact our courts. For his 26 years with the Denver County Courts and the abundance of programs he has built benefiting the people of Denver, presiding Judge John Marcucci is the 2016 County Court Judicial Excellence honoree. Marcucci was born on the west side of Chicago, the youngest of 4 boys and one of 45 first cousins. Not the best student, Marcucci preferred sports, exploring Chicago with his cousins, working at the family's 130-year-old bakery, and making deliveries around the city. But by the summer of 1968, following the deaths of Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert Kennedy and the Democratic National Convention riots, Chicago was not the town Marcucci had grown up in, and he was dismayed at the chaos. In his own words, Chicago was a mess. A visit to a cousin studying at Regis University in Denver on a 65-degree January day and the views of the mountains suggested a change of scenery. Despite never being west of the Mississippi, Marcucci moved to Colorado to study at Regis, where he met his wife Judy, and from there to Denver University Law School. He and Judy settled into South Denver to raise Lisa, Mickey, and Teresa. Marcucci spent 12 years in private practice before being appointed to the Denver County Court. He was appointed as the Denver Court's presiding judge in 2010. Perhaps it was watching a city he loves tear itself apart when he was a teenager, but the judges, legislators, and administrators who wrote in support of Judge Marcucci's nomination all addressed his skill in bringing order to the turmoil that affects the underprivileged in every contemporary American city.
Judge Marcucci is a leader in developing proactive solutions to the complex social problems that often land at the feet of our judicial officers.
When it was brought to his attention that just 500 individuals were responsible for over 17,000 nuisance crimes in Denver in 5 years, Marcucci led the efforts to develop Denver's Recovery Court program. The program, open only to offenders with extensive nuisance records but no record of violent crime, addresses the underlying mental health needs of individuals who repeatedly find their way into our courts due to quality of life crimes. In 2005, Marcucci helped to establish the Chrysalis Court to rehabilitate women charged with prostitution, rather than just repeatedly looping them through the courts. The program focuses on the underlying issues of substance abuse, homelessness, and mental illness that lead to prostitution. Marcucci is bringing substantial bond reform to Denver with a grant and guidance from the United States Department of Justice. These tools assess the likelihood of a defendant to reoffend and to show up for court, while also reforming the court's 100-year reliance on money bonds. The results of this work will be a fairer bail system based on risk rather than ability to pay. These are only a few of the innovations Judge Marcucci has overseen in building a more efficient and effective judicial system.
And so the biggest challenge is to try to make some changes within that system, turn this huge ship, and at the same time try not to step on anybody's toes, because each time you do that, it makes the next change more difficult.
Being a champion of change takes the courage to step out in front of peers and diverse stakeholders. Yet Marcucci stays the course and remains committed to a better city of Denver. In honor of his vision, please join us in recognizing our 2016 County Court Judicial Excellence Award honoree, Presiding Judge John Marcucci.
Wow. So many friends in the room. I am John Marcucci. First, thanks to the Colorado Judicial Institute, I wrote all this down, so, for this award. To even be mentioned in the same breath with the other nominees is truly unbelievable, and to be selected is so very humbling to me. To Judges Doris Bird, Alfred Harrell, and Ray Satter, please accept my sincere thanks for this nomination. I must also thank those that helped. They include Judge Andy Armadas, CSU Chancellor Emeritus Joe Blake, former attorney to the governor and now president and CEO of the CU Foundation, Jack Finlaw, former president of the CBA and all-around good guy and everybody's friend, Charlie Garcia, probate judge Elizabeth Leith, our former court administrator, Matt McConville, my collaborator on many justice reforms in Denver, Reggie Herter, Sheriff Gary Wilson, Mayor Michael Hancock, and all of my fellow judges in Denver who I will not name one at a time, and they know why. A very special thanks to my primary city contact to the mayor's office, Janice Sinden, who's here with us tonight. My current court staff, Chief Court Administrator Terry Langham, Bill Haney, Angela Caton, and Beverly, my trusted judicial assistant, who is not here due to her mother-in-law's rosary, which happens to be taking place tonight. Beverly Champion is simply the best. Without her, none of this would have been possible. To Jay Brees for his mentorship, and Jerry Maroney, Chief Justice Michael Bender, and Chief Justice Nancy Rice for their years of collaboration with me in my court. To my wonderful wife of 38 years, Judy, and my 3 daughters, Lisa, Mickey, and Teresa. All I can say is that any success in my life and work could not have been achieved without your love and support. Believe me, Judy has patiently listened and providing a sounding board that has helped me in oh so many ways in the courtroom and the last 6 years in the presiding judge's office. I guarantee you that. Plus, I need to say hi to my poor granddaughter, Avi, who's out in the hall and not feeling well. She came all the way from New Hampshire with her mom, Lisa, but it's been a long day. I could talk for hours about my personal judicial evolution. However, I only have a couple minutes. So I'd like to touch on something really that I failed to do in my career. I've come to learn the depths of the challenges to motivate us in this room to serve at the intersection of criminal justice and the truly disadvantaged in our community. What I'm talking about is the reality that the justice system simply identifies the desperate people in the greatest need. Once identified, it becomes clear that their case is really just a symptom, pointing us towards their true challenges and their barriers to a better life. To give you a reference, we've all had friends or family that have battled cancer. For instance, my wife's doctor, Robin Cavacci in Denver, had the job of healing her, but her mission really was to cure cancer. Think about it. Doctors' real mission is to put themselves out of business. We as lawyers and judges have a mission to be part of restoring dignity and a decent quality of life for those that touch our system. The role of punishment that we first learned about in law school, baby judge school, or whatever, is really a thing of the past. We as judges have for years said we are not social workers, but the evidence-based practices are telling us that outcomes are better if judges are actually on the management team for those that touch our system. Imagine if pro bono attorneys also join this team. The chronically disadvantaged, probably mentally ill, and most often homeless would enter our system and find a judge, a defense attorney, a mental health worker, a housing navigator, addiction and peer advisors, and finally a pro bono attorney that was ready to break down the barriers to their success. Things like upgrading a military discharge, restoring a tribal ID, obtaining SSDI or Medicaid under the ACA, obtaining a birth certificate, driver's license, ID, all these things that seem simple to us are so fundamental to their existence and success. Just 100 pro bono attorneys at 50 hours a year would provide 5,000 hours of help. Imagine the benefits to those in need and their families, not to mention the benefits on every level of our system. We have, at Denver County Court, partnering with our great city, the mayor, Reggie Herder, who's here tonight, and so many others have planted these seeds repeatedly. But under my leadership to date, we have really failed to see this take off on a large scale, especially with the pro bono's attorney whose help we need so much. I beg you to join in this effort and to truly have a servant's heart. This must be part of our mission in reforming our justice system. Our communities are demanding it. So thank you for listening to me tonight. God bless you all.
Look, don't forget your award.